The holiday season can be sometimes really hard to navigate. And especially for those navigating grief, the holiday seasons are one of the hardest times to get through. And so, just last year, last Christmas, I was going through a really dark night of the soul. And I had this experience with my grandmother, and she helped me to reconnect to her. Welcome to the Blessed by Angels podcast. My name is Jenn Gilbreth. Ever since I was a little girl, I have felt deeply connected to the angelic realm. Over the years, I have dedicated my time and energy towards delivering messages from beyond. Yes, that's right. I talk to dead people, although I don't necessarily consider them dead. In many ways, they are much more alive than us in this physical realm. On this podcast, I will be channeling messages from Spirit. Whether you tune in each week for the new messages or feel like picking a message at random, this podcast is designed for Spirit to lead you to the messages for you here and now. These messages have changed the way I view and play in life. I hope that these messages can do the same for you. I've watched as this beautiful white light called upon me to walk within it. It was like this tube with this vortex of energy. And as I walked within this vortex, I felt as though I was releasing any fear, any doubt, any worry, any hesitation. I was able to just release that and to let it go and to step into a new space. And as this tube of light came to an opening, I was in it was like a white room, and there was a fireplace. And I turned around, and my grandma has this beautiful Christmas tree and this beautiful pine tree. And she had this popcorn that she wanted me to string with her so that we could create and decorate this beautiful tree while her and I were speaking in spirit. And so as I was stringing along the popcorn, I was just talking to her, just getting in her space and loving, just being in this loving space with her. And I asked her, I said, Grandma, why do people feel so disconnected from our loved ones? Because we are them and they are us. And ultimately, we are spirit, but we come here to have this physical journey. And it's so easy for us to forget. It's so easy to get caught up in having to pay bills and in the drama and in relationships that we tend to forget that. And she talked to me about 4 things that really I wanted to share with you guys today on this podcast. And the first one she talked about is disbelief. Is there are a lot of times where, we may think, why would our ancestors care to come to me? Or why would my loved one care to show up for me here right now? I'm so insignificant. Or are they even there? Are they even experiencing anything? Why would they want me? Why would they even care about me? There can be this heavy disbelief, and it is things that we cannot see, that we do not understand. And then we also think, okay, well, maybe they have more that they're doing, or what are they doing? Or why would it matter for them to come into my space, or to just have this disbelief that they don't care, or that we're disconnected, or that there's no point in having that connection. When in truth, we are all this infinite source of love and of light. And they are an extension of that source, as are you, as am I. And as we are aware of that, knowing that, having that been said, we literally are a part of them and they are a part of us. And so, of course, they want to be here with us. Of course, they want to help offer us inspiration or guidance or insight, or to just be in our space and love us. And honestly, I have found that I kind of believe in my own way. What I've come to understand, and this is my interpretation, is that we are, if you think about like your fingers, like your arm, and then you have your fingers and your phalanges, right? It's almost like our higher self is the arm, and then this experience here in this body could be like the thumb or the pinky or the pointer finger, right? We are just one aspect of our infinite self. And so when people think, well, how can you connect to someone who's passed on? Are they already in a different lifetime? Or where do they go? What's their experience? And it's almost like I see this finger coming back into this access of your full arm of your true higher self. And so when delivering messages, it's not like I have to connect to that specific finger to get that information. It's like I'm connecting into the arm, I'm connecting into their higher self to receive guidance. And that's where, that finger is part of this arm. That finger is part of this space. And so their quirky personalities, their memories, different things can come forward, but it's like I'm talking into their higher self. And so if we can think of ourselves in that space, and I'll do a whole podcast upon all of that as well, but that's just a brief overview. But if we can think about ourself as this infinite source of light, and they are also an extension of this infinite source of light, of course they want to help us. Of course, as our spirit, as our infinite light is evolving and growing, their infinite source and light is evolving and growing because we are all one. We're all connected into that space. So of course they want to be here with us. And it's just moving from the space of disbelief or the space of unimportance to know that we are truly connected regardless of the circumstance because we are one. Hey there, I wanted to take a brief moment to thank you so much for listening and being a part of Blessed by Angels podcast. I have found that our angelic team wants to help remind us who and why we are earthside at this present moment. The more that we remember the angelic support that we are given, the easier it is for us to live life to the fullest. So if this message or any of the previous messages from the podcast have really stuck out to you, I would encourage you to send them to anyone who you feel could benefit from the messages. Or if you feel prompted, I would love for you to leave a review on any of the platforms that you are listening on. I would love to hear your feedback. Blessings. The next thing she talked about is we don't necessarily make the time for it. We might hear people or have people have experiences, or maybe they have a dream or a visitation, or they're just feel so connected into that space. And then there are times where we're like, well, how come I'm not feeling anything like that? Well, the question to really ask is, what am I doing to open up that space or to take that time to connect in? It's hard to have relationships with people if we don't take that time to have quality space with them and to really let someone know that we care about them. So in that same concept, a lot of times we don't take the time to have those connections or to set the intention for that to happen. The third thing she talked about was sometimes it's just too painful to experience that. When we're recently going through grief or when we're trying to figure that out, we're navigating through the space, it can be really hard or really emotional for us to comprehend or for us to even want to face. And the thing that I want to say towards that is what I've come to learn over the past 6 years of messages really is that our loved ones do not want to show up to us in ways that are going to be too hard or too painful for ourselves to understand or for ourselves to feel. They don't want to open up that wound. They don't want to open up that deep grief if it's not going to be healthy for us. So they too want to help us assist in our own healing. And that may be that they do show up at times or that they don't show up at times. And so not feeling guilty or bad or wrong about that, but even implementing something simple to open up your space in a way that's freeing and comfortable for you is absolutely important. And it can be such a positive, profound experience. So we'll touch upon that a little bit more. And the fourth one that grandma talked to me about was some people don't, there are some people who have experienced great loss and grief, where there are others who haven't really lost anybody that they felt too attached to and felt that deep sense of uncertainty or needing closure or wanting reassurance. So that's just four of the many different reasons why we can feel disconnected or we can have this block or this unknown as far as it comes to connecting to our ancestors and connecting to our loved ones who have passed. And I think that we all can have this connection. It doesn't mean that we have to be a medium to be connected to our loved ones, because we already are. We are. Everyone is in their own way. It's all about believing and enhancing and stepping in and trusting those abilities, because those abilities are who we truly are, not this body. It's that spirit to spirit connection. So we have it within us constantly at all times. We just forget about it. And they want to help us remember. So anyways, this is just a little bit of what's been on my mind. I'll be coming in on again next week and really sharing more about what else I've been learning and experiencing, and really just finding ways to dive deeper into the medicine within. And I think that's going to be a pause on bringing other people on, but really just honing in and listening in onto what that is. So anyways, I think I'll probably add a bonus as well, of a journey to connect to your ancestors during this holiday season as well. So anyways, I hope that you have an amazing day, a great holiday. I am so grateful for you, my beautiful soul tribe. Blessings, love, and light. Welcome to the Blessed by Angels podcast. My name is Jenn Gilbreth. Ever since I was a little girl, I have felt deeply connected to the angelic realm. Over the years, I have dedicated my time and energy towards delivering messages from beyond. Yes, that's right. I talk to dead people, although I don't necessarily consider them dead. In many ways, they are much more alive than us in this physical realm. On this podcast, I will be channeling messages from spirit. Whether you tune in each week for the new messages or feel like picking a message at random, this podcast is designed for spirit to lead you to the messages for you here and now. These messages have changed the way I view and play in life. I hope that these messages can do the same for you. Hey there, I wanted to take a brief moment to thank you so much for listening and being a part of Blessed by Angels podcast. I have found that our angelic team wants to help remind us who and why we are earthside at this present moment. The more that we remember the angelic support that we are given, the easier it is for us to live life to the fullest. So if this message or any of the previous messages from the podcast have really stuck out to you, I would encourage you to send them to anyone who you feel could benefit from the messages. Or if you feel prompted, I would love for you to leave a review on any of the platforms that you are listening on. I would love to hear your feedback. Blessings.